Hello there. Welcome to Coaching with Tally. We are here talking today about beating yourself up, and whether it's because in this time we are like out of our usual rhythms, or we're feeling more unproductive than usual, or we have fewer things to distract us from what is actually always glaring at us in the face and that inner critic. Whether it's because we have increased stress levels that are just lowering that threshold for patience with ourselves and others, or whether it's just because we have so much dang time on our hands that we can't really get away from or avoid that inner critic. I am noticing, whether it's through my clients or just people that I'm interacting with, friends or people who are messaging me because of impact that's happening through these videos, one of the common themes that I'm seeing is just a lot more self-beat up than usual. And so we're going to talk about that today. My name is Tally. I am a life and personal development coach, and I work with leaders to get them into alignment, firing on all cylinders. I do a lot of holistic coaching, and so looking at every important area of life, getting a leader really aligned to who they are and what they're made for, having incredible impact in the world, and leading lives of sustainable joy. And so I have been coming live every day at 1 o'clock here Eastern Standard Time on my Leaders Alive page on Facebook, and then also doing a video for those of you on Instagram, LinkedIn, things like that. But just coming and sharing some things, some tips, some mindset, some perspective shifts that I think could be helpful for people in this time, just as my way to give back. I feel like if we all can get into a place where we are giving something out of our strengths in the midst of all of this, it not only fills us to do it, but it makes a huge difference when all of us are doing what we can do. So thing that I'm doing, or one of the things I'm doing, is just sharing out coaching tips and mindset hacks for you. So every day, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on my Facebook page, Leaders Alive with Tally. You're welcome to come and join me and interact and chat, and we can be part of a conversation together. So today we're talking about why becoming your own best friend is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself in this time where we have so much time. We have so much more time with ourselves, and some of us are completely by ourselves. If you're quarantining alone, then you have a huge opportunity and advantage to really key into this and utilize what is naturally happening to really transform some beautiful things in your own conversation with yourself that will lead to so much empowerment and growth. So transforming your relationship with you, because you're the only person who has always been with you, and you're the only person who is always going to be with you until you die. So getting that relationship in alignment is massively important. It can make such a difference for really what you create in this world and how you enjoy the life that you have to live, this one and only life that you have right now to learn to connect with you. So the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Learning how to treat yourself the way that you want to be treated and key into what that is, super important. So if we just look at the way that we talk to ourselves, and that's something like some of us are more keyed into that conversation than others, but if you were to write down all of the things that you say to yourself that are just critical and generally unkind, if you were just to like put those in quote marks and write them out on a piece of paper, like what you say to yourself within a 24-hour period of time, you were to read that off as if it was somebody else saying it to you, like think about how you would react to somebody talking to you that way. Like you probably would not tolerate it. You probably wouldn't be putting up with that person in your life for very long. If it's just, like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like that kind of feel, like whether it's you're so like unproductive, you're so overweight, you have no self-control, like just those kind of critical, judgmental statements over yourself. And if you're not keyed into that conversation, totally fine. That's okay. One of the ways you can start keying in, it's easier sometimes to key into the conversations that you're having about other people or about circumstances. If you find that, in a given day, you're pretty critical of what's going on out in the world and you're critical of other people, that's a surefire just indicator that you have a lot of self-criticism, whether you're aware of it or not. And so that's the place to start, is just to get in awareness around the conversation that you're having with you, because you can't transform it until you become aware of it. So noticing how you talk to yourself is really, really key. So start with, just how you see yourself showing up in judgment of other things. And then if you can give yourself permission to hear the inner critic in you does not want to be found out. So it's not obvious all the time. But if you can just sort of get neutral about it and objective and just start noticing, just become an observer of your own inner thoughts and inner dialogue. One thing you can do to flush some of it up is to say or write, I am enough, and try and let yourself really feel that. A lot of the criticisms that you have of yourself will get flushed to the surface, and there will be like a lot of yeah, but kind of conversations. So that's a way to flush some of that out. Like if there are a lot of birds in a like thicket or whatever, and a dog runs in there barking and everything flies, like that is a way to kind of clear that out and notice what comes flying out of there. Is to tell yourself and really let yourself believe I am enough. Because that's a lot of what the criticism comes at, is the message of worthiness, is the message of enoughness. And that is a message that all of us, no matter how much work you've done on yourself, all of us can have more of. Just loving, kind, I am enough. That's what's at the root of a lot of our issues, is not feeling enough. So saying that statement and noticing what flushes to the surface is a really supportive tool. And just beginning to allow your awareness to come into view of what are the critical statements you say on an ongoing basis about yourself. So just noticing. And then here is an exercise that you can do. And this has been one of the more transformational exercises that I do on a really ongoing basis. And that I'm an external processor, but I think for anyone this is really supportive. So to get a journal out or a piece of paper and write dear or dearest, and then your name, dearest Tally, comma, and then allow source of love to just begin to write messages of kindness, of compassion, of love, of encouragement, empowerment, and notice what shows up. And like let yourself feel into that place. And I promise you, it will begin to transform the ongoing messages that are there that are critical. And we keep them around because we think that they're going to give us a result that we want. We think that they're the quickest way to motivation. And while they can really motivate short-term results, they will not be the thing that actually gives you sustainable long-term results. So you can kind of stress motivate, or fear-based motivate, or critical, like be critical to get some results. And we can, drive ourselves forward with those messages. But where you're going to see the biggest impact, the greatest fruit from your life, is by learning to love well. So everything is motivated by fear or love. And I promise you, fear-based motivation doesn't last indefinitely. It creates more problems than it solves. So while it'll kind of like drive some results initially, it does so much damage underneath that eventually that damage is going to implode on itself. So you want to get yourself out of a place of fear and into a place of love, out of a place of criticism, into a place of compassion, empowerment, encouragement. So have fun with that exercise, exercise of writing a letter to yourself from a source of love, and just see what shows up and begin to let those things in, almost like watering a plant that hasn't been watered in a long time. Let those messages just go deep. Breathe into them, reread it. You can rewrite a new letter every morning if you want. It's a terrific way to start out your day or to end your day. Work it into a morning or evening routine. And let me know how it goes. Let me know if this is supportive for you. And again, Leaders Alive with Tally Facebook page is where I am every day at 1 o'clock Eastern, at least in the midst of all of this. I'm going to keep going live. It's just a way to give back. I'm also thinking about putting together a free life wheel assessment. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know and I'll make sure to get you on the list for that. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Loving you.